Randall Phillips with pdbgroupventure.com, Business Development Strategist. This segment and this DVD is brought to you by the Courtyard by Marriott, Atlanta, Roswell. I'd like to give a special note of appreciation to Angela Youngerman, the sales manager there, as well as Kimberly, who's at the front desk. I appreciate all the help and everything that you've done for me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hear me. Everybody back there can hear me pretty good? Yeah. This presentation that I'm going to give you, I'm not doing this ever again. So I'm serious. The notes that I gave you is very critical that you write down what I'm getting ready to tell you. The second page, you're going to go to art class on the second page. The first page, I want you to use it for notes. And we got to go real fast because I only have 15 minutes. It's actually an hour presentation. We're going to shrink it down to 15 minutes. And the name of it is Business Development and Protection Strategies to Change Your Life Today. Here is our first strategy. All of us are in business, and what that means is that we want to win. What do we do day to day as a strategy? Do you have a strategy? Or do you just pass out cards? I had a really awesome presentation I was able to go to that Lewis did yesterday about the fact that many times we just pass out cards. Is just passing out cards and getting cards, is that a strategy? I don't think so, because guess what? This is war. If you look at it like that, it's really serious, because the reason why I say it's war, when people think of war, they start getting tense. If you go out of business next month, you're going to be tense. You and your family are going to say, what the heck are we going to do? So it's not a joke. It's not funny. It's not fun and games. This is serious business. I'm here because I have a relationship with Peter, but normally this information right here is at least $150. Because of my relationship with him, you get it for $6 today. So write these notes down. Strategy 1. Pick a side. What does that mean? I was guilty of not picking a side. I said that I did DJing, events, this, that, and then what was happening is that in this battle, in this war with my army, people were confused. What does he do? Well, I think he does some events, I think he does that. Nobody really knew what side to get on with me because I was saying all kinds of different things. I'm going to talk about how you can get a solution to that. So, choose your business. Suggestion: a product or service that fills a consumer need. Now, a lot of us have picked businesses because maybe we got fired. We didn't have any choice but to do something that we enjoy. But does what you do fill a consumer need? What I mean by that is this. Are people running to get what you have? Or do you have to keep begging them to say, check out my stuff? Are they running to get what you have, or are you begging? The posture of begging gets no money. When people need stuff, they come to people who have what they need, and they're willing to pay. So, another suggestion, something sustainable with low or no competition. Even industries that have tons of competition. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I used to be a plumber. Lewis used to be a contractor. We have a gentleman who's also a contractor. When I started doing plumbing, I was in the city of Chicago. It was at least 10,000 plumbers. So I said to myself, what am I going to do that's different between 10,000 and all of the plumbers who I did a consumer study. I just talked to people. That's what that means. I found that ladies were treated very badly. Guys would come in there, well, little lady, I'm the big bad plumber. This is what it's going to cost. Ladies didn't like that. So I said, if I could do something where I could explain very coherently why you need to give me the money for these services, I'm going to win. That's what I did. All of the other people, they had no idea what my strategy was, but when I would come in and out of houses, people would be like, man, how are you doing that? Well, I had a strategy. I didn't just go say, I got plumbing, here's a card. It doesn't work like that. By studying the market and seeing what your competition is doing, you make it no competition. Get these notes. Wait. No. Okay. Put this stuff on the first page. The second page, we're going to do a diagram. We gotta hurry up. Time is a waste. Strategy 2, choose your battlefield. In the military, it's called area of operations. Honestly, you can't be everywhere and be effective. You just can't do it. Yesterday, Lewis gave a presentation in Woodstock. Woodstock is not my area. Just be honest with you. I'm not going to do business in Woodstock. So I'm not going to pass out cards in Woodstock. That don't make any sense. I live in Roswell. I live around this area. These are the people who I want to deal with. So this is where I do my business. So where do you want to establish your base camp? If you're new, like I was a year ago, new to the Atlanta area, what I had to do was use good intel. What is that? The military does this all the time. Satellite technology. Also, they use scouts. What does that mean? With the area. This kind of group, the value of this group, the $6 that you paid is this. All of these people here know stuff that you need. It would take me months in order to find out different things in this area, but everything that I found out, I asked Peter, I asked Kay, I asked LK, I say, this is what I'm trying to do, what do you think? This is where you need to go. That leverages my time. I don't have to spend time doing that. So, use your satellite technology, which is the internet, we'll call it that, but you need scouts, which are more effective. And this is your battlefield. Now, the side that we want to talk about today, there's a winner and a losing side, which is step one. That's what this little flag is. The winning side. That's what we want. Let's go on. You all got that? Now put this part, the battlefield, on the second page. I didn't say that, I'm sorry. Because I'm going to add more to this, and I'm going real fast. Okay. Strategy 3. This is Randall Phillips from PDB Group Venture, and we're back. We're still talking about strategy 2, choose your battlefield. One of the last things that I want to mention about that is the conclusion of all of this is leverage your valuable time and money with a business development strategy plan, which is what all of this that we talked about. Because our time really is valuable. A lot of times we don't think about it like that, but it is. Time is money. That's an old saying. Let's go on to number 3. Strategy 3, set up your base camp. Now, strategy 2, we talked about looking for the area to put the base camp in. Now, this is the actual setup of the base camp in the battlefield, which is number 3, right here. This is essentially what you want to have happen with your base camp. Ask yourself, where can we find you if we want to buy your product or service? So many times people have awesome products, awesome services, but they may not have an office. They may not have a place where you can actually go find them. It's important that you have this because this is going to create leverage for your time by having an automated system for sales at your location. I'm going to give a real life example that's mine, in that before I had the privilege of being able to have an office like you see us in now, I said my strategy should be, I want to have a place where people can find me if they want I didn't have a product, I had a service. I was a plumber. Well, I love Dunkin' Donuts. That was back then. Starbucks man now. Hate to say that, but just saying, shameless plug. Send me some money, Starbucks. But Dunkin' Donuts, I would go there all the time in Homewood, Illinois. And what I would do, that would be the time early in the morning where I would collect my thoughts and make my plans for the day. So I said to myself, what I'll do is I'm going to arrange to go there every day. That's going to be my virtual office. And what I did was use the leverage of other scouts that we talked about earlier. Here's some scouts. The manager of the Dunkin' Donuts, the employees of the Dunkin' Donuts, the customers of the Dunkin' Donuts, and also other contractor type guys like me would be there. So every day, imagine, if you come in every day, you see Randall from 8 to 9. And if you know anybody that needs plumbing, if you think that you might need plumbing, or if you're even dreaming about doing plumbing, guess what? You can find Randall at Dunkin' Donuts between 8 and 9. And guess how much I had to pay for that office space? A cup of coffee and a bagel every day. So I leveraged myself, and I actually created leverage with Dunkin' Donuts because that's an extra bagel and coffee that they can count on every day to add to their budget. So that's awesome. It's a win-win. So we talked about picking number one, the winner's side. Number two, getting good intel with your satellite here. I'm not a good artist, but you can see that that's a satellite. Scouts. And now we're talking about actually setting up the base camp. In the story about using the Dunkin' Donuts to set up my office and my base camp, what I did was establish value. Well, like I mentioned earlier, the value to Dunkin' Donuts was the fact that I would always come there and they were guaranteed for me to get a coffee and a bagel. But also the value that came to Dunkin' Donuts is that I would have people meet me there. And so people who may not necessarily have gone to that Dunkin' Donuts, if I say, you know, listen, why don't we meet in the morning and figure out what we're going to do on this job, that person now could potentially be another customer that they get because of me, which in their eyes can be equated to value. Also, with Dunkin' Donuts, I established value, plus I had a relationship with them. I didn't just go in there and, you know, conduct business. I learned about the people and the things that they were interested in. They learned about me and my family and just what my hopes and dreams and aspirations were, because many times by sharing stories and understanding where a person comes from, by building that relationship, you end up being in a better position to expose what you have. So many times, this is horrible, really horrible. I run into people who have a product or service. They offer me the product or service. They have no idea if I have that already, if I want that, if I need it. Because they don't ask me. They didn't establish value, and they have no relationship. They go straight from product to exposure. And I talked about this on our show, It's a Great Day for Business Atlanta. Intuitively, as human beings, we're irritated when a person just comes out of the clear blue sky and says, listen, I got this new doohickey. Buy my doohickey. It's like, well, why? Why should I buy that from you? Especially if you haven't established value for yourself. Like, why should I buy it from you as opposed to the other guy who sells doohickeys? And we have no relationship. I would rather, if I'm going to spend money anyway, spend it with somebody who I know cares about me, somebody who I know will appreciate the benefit of my money. It's just really what it is. I've done this there's millions of stores that you can get fast food from, and I don't suggest that you get fast food, that's unhealthy. But if you have a lot of different choices, I make a personal choice to go to the place that I know the people care that I came. And what's also a nice little tip is when you go to a place and as soon as you hit the door, they say, hey, Randall, how's it going? And, you know, some people go, well, that's just good salesmanship. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's so many places I go to, they see me all day long. There's one, and I'm not going to call them out, one service that I get on a weekly basis. And this person, I'm a man, he's known me almost a year, still doesn't know my name. And as soon as I get somebody to replace him, guess what's going to happen? He's going to be fired. You're fired, like Donald Trump. So, establish value, a relationship, then do your exposure. This is why I would venture to say most businesses don't win. It's not the economy. It's not the fact that you can't find customers. You don't establish value for what you have, and you don't have a relationship with people to make them comfortable enough to say, you know what, that's a good decision, so I'll go ahead and buy what you're exposing. This is this part on strategy 3, set up your base camp in your battlefield. We got more to come, but we're going to pause it right here so you can take a break. This is Randall Phillips with PDB Group Venture. Thank you for tuning in.